Good morning. We are here at 7:30 on April 6th at the Mount Si trailhead, and today we are going to be climbing Mount Si. This is going to be Bryan's first big mountain climb. We did have some fresh snow up on the mountain, so we have fingers crossed that maybe the Haystack, the scramble to the summit, will be clear by the time we get up there, but it's one of the most popular mountains in the entire state to climb. It's about 8 miles round trip with 3,200 feet of elevation gain, so we're gonna get going. So many birds chirping this morning. It's so peaceful. It really does feel like spring. The mountains are still insisting it's winter, but it's spring. We really lucked out on the weather today. It's beautiful sun and we have clear skies, so even if we don't get to do the Haystack, we're still gonna get beautiful views at the top. We got our first little peekaboo view over a mile in, and that mountain there is Mount Washington, where I was less than a month ago. Yep, we're over a mile in and over 1,000 feet of gain in, and just heading on up this mountain. This is a well-traveled trail, which makes it just all about the climb. You don't have to worry about crazy terrain or anything technical. You just got to trudge on up a mountain, because Mount Si is climbed by over 100,000 people a year, so it gets a lot of foot traffic. And if you're wondering just how much foot traffic, these rocks, the edges of these rocks have been polished clean by the number of people who have stepped on them. I've only seen that on one other trail, and that would be Poo Poo Point, which makes sense. Those are probably the two most popular climbs in the greater Seattle area. Getting into the section of trail with some beautiful old growth trees. So there's Bryan for comparison. This is a beautiful old Douglas fir. And we're coming up on the cedar flats where there's some more beautiful old growth trees and the site of where historic wildfire came across this part of the mountain. But yeah, trail's flat for a little bit, or relatively flat, and then we start climbing, and once we start climbing we'll hit the snow line soon. Okay, so here is the little interpretive site and boardwalk with the this beautiful old Douglas fir, talking about the wildfire and the old growth grove here. Got to be probably my favorite part of the actual trail. The summit is pretty cool, but I think the flats with the old growth grove are definitely the best part of the trail. It's just the most peaceful part. Also, you know, very little elevation gain on this part of the trail, but it's definitely the most beautiful. What do you think of the climb so far?
It's not bad.
Yeah? Is it what you thought it was going to be like?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a bunch of switchbacks through the forest. Beautiful forest, but yeah, it's just a trudge of switchbacks up through the forest. No sign of the snow yet either. This is our first sign of snow. A little bit just clinging on for the last few days of the storms. It's not on the ground yet, it's just like a dusting on the sides of the trail. It's kind of weird because it's so sunny and, you know, we're well into spring now, but that means we're close. We are within a quarter mile of the summit, and the snow condition has been pretty good. We haven't even needed spikes yet. It's nowhere near as deep as it was last year when I climbed this mountain around the same time, which is a little disturbing. for the snowpack this year, but oh man, we are almost there. Almost to the lunch spot, and then to the haystack. To the lunch rocks, and you can't see the summit, but we got to get up through this for the haystack, and I'll get a look and see if the haystack looks climbable. My hope is that this wind has blown most of the snow off of it, and the fact that it's southeast facing has kept it nice and dry because it's a class 3 scramble. I'm not gonna do it if it's covered in snow and ice, so we'll have to see. There's Bryan. Bryan, we made it to the lunch spot. We get to eat the Pop-Tarts now. Yeah, first is snack and enjoying this beautiful view. This knob here, that's the summit of Mount Tenerife, and this mountain right here is a mailbox. Kind of hard to see, but that way up there is the haystack, which is the true summit of Mount Si. It's a very short class 3 scramble. It's looking pretty good from here, and so the trail winds up through the talus rocks here. Okay, I think I see a clear way up the haystack, and it is the preferred route, so I'm gonna go for it. I can't make any promises on the summit. It is obviously extremely windy, and this wind is cold. The wind chill factor is real, but I'm gonna make an attempt. So starting here and then getting up this crack, and then it's pretty easy to get to the summit from there, so gonna go for it. Alright, so after coming around a little further up to look at the haystack, I am not gonna be able to do it. Partially because this first section is the snow. This is all the new snow, and so it is very loose, and if I try and get in there, it's gonna give way. So a little disappointed to be turning around, but that is what the last person did, so I am going to do the same. The mountain is still going to be there for another day, but there's still plenty of cool viewpoints up top in the boulders, so I'm going to go back down and see Bryan. impressive from here, but the camera looks tiny. Down here is a Rattlesnake Lake, and then above it is Rattlesnake Ledge. This is Rattlesnake Ridge. That little bump there is Cedar Butte, which we climbed not too long ago. And next to it is Mount Washington, which I also climbed not too long ago. This over here is Mailbox. This summit over here is Tenerife. The Haystack, obviously. And then over here, we got Seattle. We got Tiger and Cougar Mountain. And then this line over here, that's the entire Olympic mountain range. Pretty freaking cool. And then there's the Snoqualmie River. Not a bad 360. Yeah, I'm not standing up here. The wind gusts are so strong. I'm pretty sure if I did that, I would fall over, which is obviously dangerous up here. But yeah, scrambled up this. Bryan is going down here, and then the trail's down there. So got a little bit of scrambling fix in, even if it didn't get to do the haystack. We are about half a mile off the summit. We had to get out of that wind, and we are heading back down. Yeah, but absolutely beautiful, and by the number of people we've passed on the way down here already, we got there ahead of the crowd, so that is always a plus. And now we just are getting back down another 3.5 miles to the car. We have spikes on, although I think we're going to be taking them off soon because it's getting slushy, but absolutely beautiful up there. The wind, though, my goodness, insane. We made it back down to the car. It took us a little over 2.5 hours to get to the top rock area, and 1.5 hours down roughly. We weren't really keeping track, and then we spent like, I don't know, probably over an hour on top. It was really cool. The summit was insanely windy and cold though. I have no idea how much of the footage is going to be usable because of the wind noise, but the views are beautiful. Definitely a good one, and I will be back for revenge on the Haystack. I'll come back later in the year when it's melted out, and I'll do that scramble and truly summit Mount Si. Bryan, what did you think of your first climb up 4,000 footer?
It was fun. I was getting tired by the end of the climb and then by the end of the descent, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
What did you think of the actual trail though?
It was pretty.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable.
And what about the top?
It was very windy. Very cold and windy.
Bryan didn't like the wind or the cold. The bitterly cold wind was, yeah, a lot, but the views are pretty, right? Yeah, good view. Mount Si is a good one. And we also got up there right at 10, and that was early enough that there were only like 2 other people up there. And when we started descending around 11, that is when a lot more people started showing up. So we got our timing perfect. We got here early enough that we kind of had the top area mostly to ourselves, and we got to have, you know, some solitude. And we passed a lot of people coming up as we were going back down. So yeah, just remember, this is a very popular mountain. We even saw a couple of dudes with like big weighted packs, probably training for Rainier or something. This is a very popular training hike as well. We also got lapped by 2 trail runners who I guess did the entire mountain twice in the amount of time it took us to do it once. So anyway, it's a really fun trail. It's very popular. It's fun to do with friends, and it's a beautiful mountain, beautiful views on top. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, you can give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to follow more adventures on trail here in Washington, especially to see me go back and do the Haystack for the true summit. And here are my favorite pictures from the trail today. Enjoy.